Welcome back to another episode of Carson's Aquatics. Today, we are finally going to be remodeling my 55-gallon aquarium. We're going to make it look real nice, but before we get into that, there are a few things that I want to update you guys on, and I feel like I've been doing a lot of updates recently. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but on every single one of my videos, I get comments saying, we need updates on this, on that. So I think most of you like the updates, but if you don't, you can obviously just skip to the main part of the video. But anyway, as you can see here, the turtle pond looks quite different. We used to have this whole thing filled with this water hyacinth, but pretty much all the rest of the water hyacinth did die off. It was literally these ones that were closest to the light that survived. These, as you can see, are nice and green, nice and healthy. All the other ones were like turning brown. So I just threw those out in the woods. We are gonna keep these in here as long as they do stay alive. All the fish are doing just great. You can see those rosy red minnows down there, the bright colored ones. And if you look real closely, you can see those common guppies. Super, super cool. Turtle pond is looking great. Here's a look at our baby Buenos Aires tetras. And just look at how big these guys are getting. They are definitely at the size where we could sell them to a fish store, which has been the plan this whole time. And I do want to do that soon because there's a fish that I really want to get for that tank. And obviously we got to get all those baby fish out before we can do that. So I'll probably be giving these guys the boot pretty soon, but they will be going to a good home, a fish store. And not like a Petco or PetSmart or anything. They're going to be going to one of my local fish stores, which take really good care of their tanks. And I'll probably make a video on that, so stay tuned. And we got the 40-gallon frog tank and angelfish tank. Nothing new in there. Same with the 75-gallon American cichlid tank. I did just clean all of these tanks yesterday, so they're all just sparkling. A quick update on the baby African clawed frog, Frankie. There he is. My boy's growing up so fast. This dude knows how to put down some pellets. I put in a pinch of those tadpole pellets like every day. The next morning they are all gone. So before we know it, Frankie's gonna be looking more like that. And now one last update I want to give you guys is from my last video. We're gonna go upstairs and check on our glowfish. Right here we have the 4 glowfish that we got in the last video for our 10-gallon Halloween themed glow tank. As you can see there, they're all just doing great. They're getting real comfortable in this tank, and I still just cannot get over how cool they are. Crazy how they glow like that. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I got some comments on the last video where I got the glowfish with people asking like, Carson, are these fish still alive? You didn't let the tank cycle. You have to let the tank cycle. And I just want to inform you guys, there's more than one way to cycle an aquarium. You don't have to let it sit for 2 weeks to cycle. As I showed in the video, I used this top fin bacteria starter. This is literally bottled beneficial bacteria. You can see the bottom of it says allows immediate introduction of fish, and it's not lying. I've used this exact stuff to set up my 75-gallon, my 40-gallon, my 25-gallon, my turtle pond. Almost all the tanks downstairs in the fish room were started using this, and all those tanks are healthy, doing just great. So I thought I'd just mention that. I'm not mad or anything. I just wanted to clear that up. As you can see, all these fish are doing just great. So that's that. Now we're gonna head back down to the fish room and get on with the rest of the video. So like I mentioned, today we are going to be remodeling my 55-gallon aquarium. This tank is home to all kinds of community fish, mainly tetras. We got the Buenos Aires tetras, black skirt tetra, blind cave tetra, Colombian tetra. Here's one of the glow light tetras. Then we've got just a few mollies and platies. I did also have a turquoise rainbow fish in this tank, but unfortunately it did pass away. I'm not gonna try and hide my fish dying from you guys. You know, that's just part of the hobby. There's some YouTubers out there that whenever one of their animals dies, they like try and hide it. They lie to you guys. I'm not about that. If one of my fish dies, I'm gonna tell you guys. I had that fish for over 2 years. He was getting old. All the rest of the fish in this tank are doing just great. The tank is perfectly healthy. It just looks really bad. But today, we're gonna be fixing that. This tank has never really had like a good scape, like something that I can just look at and be like, that's good. But today I really hope to fix that. As you can see, we got 2 pieces of spiderwood in there. I put those in there last night just so they can start soaking up water so they sink. Right now they do want to float, so like to keep them underwater, I have that one lodged in this piece of driftwood, and I have that one like partially buried in the sand. I did have those 2 pieces of spiderwood soaking in my front yard pond, but I recently discovered that there's a ton of these tiny little snails in the pond, and I didn't want those being brought into this tank on those 2 pieces of driftwood, so I took those out for like a couple weeks, let them dry out, so if any snails were on them, they would die. But that also dried them out to the point where they float again, so I had to let them start soaking so they'll sink. So hopefully now they're waterlogged enough to where they'll stay down. If not, we can just use rocks to weigh them down. Not a big deal. All right, I got a little sidetracked there. But other than those 2 pieces of spiderwood, we also have a bunch of this dragon stone. It was in there previously, but we're gonna use this to try and make it look real natural and nice. And I also got a bunch of fake plants. We got some medium sized, some small ones, and a bunch of tall ones over here. And I already know I'm gonna get a million comments saying, why don't I just use real plants? And I've never really had like the best luck with live plants. I think I'm gonna try again in the future. I think I'm gonna do a video soon where I just replace all of my fake plants with real plants in like all of my tanks. Let me know if I should should do that. I know you guys are gonna tell me I should. But we are gonna go with fake plants for now, simply because they cannot die. So enough talk, now let's just get started rescaping this tank. So the first thing we're gonna do is obviously just take all this stuff out of the tank. Let's see, oh, that still floats a lot. We're definitely gonna have to wedge that one down with a rock. That one's floating too, but not as hard as the other one. So now I'm going to adjust the sand. As you can see right now, it's kind of sloped up this way. I'm gonna pretty much make it do the opposite. I want the front to have the lowest sand and then the back to have the highest. Definitely gonna stir a lot of stuff up. The tank might be a bit foggy when we're done, but that's all right. So I think this is kind of what we're gonna go with here on the right side. Gonna have that piece of spiderwood coming out like that. This side looks really good. Once we get some plants in there, that is gonna be beautiful. I just need to use this rock to weigh this piece of driftwood down. I'll just leave that right there if I need to. Alrighty guys, so quick update. As you can see there, the hardscape is in. By hardscape, I mean the rocks and the wood. So basically what I did was I stacked up the sand into that back corner and try and almost make this look like a mountain range with like a piece of wood coming out of it. I don't really know, but I saw pictures like this online and I like how it looks. And it's gonna look a lot better when we get the plants in there. But yeah, that turned out pretty good. I have this rock right here holding this piece of wood down, so we're good there. Then we have the other side, pretty much the same thing, and just ignore the rock sitting right on top of the wood. That is just to hold it down. That'll be there for at least a few days until this wood sinks. Pretty much the same exact concept as over there. We just have that wood tucked into the rocks coming out into the middle of the tank. I really like how this is looking. And like I said, when I add the plants, it is going to completely change the tank. And again, here are all of our plants. We have some medium-sized ones and some small-sized ones. Looks like we have 6 total in there. And then we have some taller ones, which I know I'm gonna put a taller one back behind that area back there to hide the filter intake and heater. I'll have another tall one over here. And then all these short ones are just gonna get tucked into like the little crevices of the rocks and the wood. It is going to look so good. So I'm gonna go rinse down all those plants and then we're gonna start putting them in the tank.
A few moments later.
Alrighty, all the plants have been rinsed and we're going to start out with this tall one. We're going to put it back behind this structure so it can cover up the filter intake and heater. Oh yeah, that's going to look amazing. So now we're going to put in the next tall plant and that's going to go right back here. It's coming together. I'm going to put this one behind this rock. I've got 2 more big plants and I'm not quite sure where I want to put them. Actually, I do know where I want to put them. I'm going to put the first one over here. Dude, I love how this is turning out. I'm not even kidding. And I'm just gonna put this last big bunch of plants. It kind of looks weird right there. You know what? I don't like that plant in the middle. I'm gonna try and find another like piece of structure I can put there. But we do still have 5 more small plants to add, and these are really gonna put the cherry on top. So I'm gonna tuck this one right in here. I'm gonna put this one right in here. Boom. And the other side, I'm going to put this taller one back here so it can poke out of this gap. Yep, like that. And I'm gonna put this one right down in here. And I'm gonna put this last short one right over here. And there it is. Oh my goodness. Look at that tank. All that green just makes this tank look a million times better. I'm so happy with how this looks. Literally, this is a million times better than it looked before. I do think the middle looks just a bit empty. I feel like we need kind of a centerpiece, but I don't want to get like something unnatural, like a statue or something. I want like a rock or a piece of wood. Or, you know what? I wonder how this would look in there. You know what? I'm just gonna put it in there, see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can take it back out. But I think that's actually gonna look good. I'm gonna tuck this last plant up in there. Okay, I can deal with that. That does not look bad at all. Here's a look at it from a distance, and I really think this last piece of driftwood really pulled it together. It fills in the tank much better. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's like a lighter color than the other wood. So I'll be on the lookout for another piece of driftwood that I can put in the middle here to like match those, but that will be just fine for now. I really like how this looks. I personally think this is my best aquascape ever. It's either this or the 40 gallon or the 75. And I do like the 75. I love this piece of wood, but it doesn't have any plants, and I can't really have plants because of the American cichlids. If I added plants in this tank, the fish would literally just tear them apart. And then the 40 gallon's cool, but I mean, that versus that, I mean, come on. I think this is definitely my best aquascape ever. But of course, you guys can let me know what you think down in the comments. Here's one last look at it. Oh, and again, that rock sitting right on top of the wood. That's only there to hold the wood down because the wood does want to float. That rock should be gone by the next time you see this tank, which will either be my next video or the one after that. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this turned out. That is going to wrap up this video, and today's comment of the day goes out to. And if you want your comment to be the comment of the day in the next video, all you gotta do is drop a comment down below. That could happen. And if you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and I am gonna see you in the next video. I just picked this rock up off the ground with my toe.